Shut up and sit down.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Tech Rich Game Podcast. My name is Cade, and I am joined here today with my good friends Chezizzle and KingKoopa. How's it going, guys?
What's happening?
Doing pretty good. It's been quite some time since we've been here, but we had to come back with a bang, and boy howdy is The Last of Us 2 a way to come.
We're living in a Last of Us
to the
2,
podcast.
a post-Last of Us 2 world.
Currently.
Yeah. We can never go back to not knowing what The Last of Us 2 Part 2 is.
Remember the last podcast
And
when I was freaking out about The Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah.
And then this podcast, I'm going to freak out about The Last of Us Part 2? Yeah. It's a good time.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about today, so let's just kind of jump right into it. So, unlike normally where I kind of lay out the structure of the podcast, Chaz is going to do that today. So, Chaz, take it away with whatever topics you want to start with first.
All right. So, there's this little company called Naughty Dog, you know?
Just a little indie studio.
Maybe you heard of them. They've made a couple games, you know? Well, they made this new game, and boy, does it have my feathers ruffled.
Is it something?
So, a lot of people, this game is really probably the most, what's the word I'm thinking of? Divisive?
Yeah,
It's
divisive.
probably the most divisive Naughty Dog game since I can remember ever. Since Uncharted.
Maybe game in general.
Yeah, like, this game pretty much broke the internet for a while, but for the most part, all of us enjoyed it, I feel like, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Loved
So,
it.
we're going to get a couple of the negative things out of the way first, and then we're going to go into all the dick riding, which is going to be probably like 4 hours long of us freaking out about how good this game is. Okay, so a couple months ago, some dickheads decided they wanted to ruin everyone's fun and hack Amazon servers and leak a bunch of the stuff that happened in this game. And the two main things that was leaked was that Joel got killed by Abby with a golf club, and
Spoiler alert.
Ellie. Oh yeah, this is a spoiler podcast. By the
Oh,
way.
yeah. So, right off the back, if y'all have not
Oops.
played the game or finished it, I guess we should have led off with that. This is gonna have spoilers, so if you haven't finished the game, please do so first, or play it. If you're not planning on playing it, then go ahead and continue. But if you haven't already, finish the game and
It'll
be
be in the title.
Yeah, good thing that's like 2 hours in, so it's whatever. But the two things that were spoiled was Joel gets killed by Abby with a golf club. No one knew who Abby was. And the second thing was that Abby kills Ellie, which I was spoiled. Cooper was spoiled. Kate, did you get the spoils, or were you free?
I heard about the leaks and stuff, but I didn't look into
So
them
you
at all.
didn't get
So
it.
I had
You
no idea
didn't know
was
what it
going
was.
on. No, I had no idea who the fuck.
Okay. So me and Cooper had heard that Ellie and Joel died, and I was like, fuck. It's true because the shit, like, it's not just like people making it up. It's like it's actually leaked footage. But the Ellie footage that leaked was the fight in the theater. So people thought that was the end of the game. So everyone...
Boy, were they wrong.
Yeah, so which in a normal game, that might be the end of the game, but this isn't a normal game. So everyone decided that they hated this game before it came out because they thought the story sucked, even though they only knew the end or the beginning.
Yeah, not even the first half. Basically, the first half of the game.
Like, if you tell any movie and you only say the ending, it's gonna suck. But anyway, so everyone hated the game and before it even came out, and then some reports came out that like the working conditions at Naughty Dog weren't the best. The crunch, it was really bad, especially with the pandemic. Like, it was really bad. So Naughty Dog got a lot of heat. People were really mad before the game even came out. So this game had a lot going against it before even anyone touched it. Then it came out, and Naughty Dog put heavy embargoes on the entire second half of the game because they didn't want people to spoil what is, I think, one of the coolest things ever in a video game is you get to play as the bad guy.
Yeah.
They didn't want that spoiled, and people got mad at them because they didn't want the end spoiled for some reason. Whatever. People suck. The internet sucks. That's all the bad shit. But we got the game. We went into it with an open mind because we're smart people. And the game's fucking incredible. Probably the best game I've ever played.
Yeah, I mean, probably the closest thing to this would be the first game.
Yeah.
You know,
on a technical level, not
as...
story, but like just technical. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is close, and like the world that game had is similar to the world, like the realism that this game has. But
yeah,
I didn't like Red Dead as much as the story, but the world of Red Dead was fucking incredible, just like the world of this game is fucking incredible. Cooper, did you like Red Dead?
Y'all know the answer to that. I love Red Dead.
Of course he did.
Hey, what is that supposed to mean? I hate all kind of shit.
No, but this game looks incredible. This is the best looking game I've ever seen. It shits on any PC game, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely pushed the PlayStation 4 probably to its limits.
This is
between that and Red Dead and shit, maybe even The Witcher 3. Even though that came early on in the console's life cycle, they were pushing limits.
This is on 2013 hardware.
Yeah,
think about that.
It looks
fucking
phenomenal.
crazy.
Looks beautiful.
Let's start at the beginning. My boy Joel, old man Joel, telling Tommy the first game. Pretty much, in case you didn't play the first game, here's your recap. And then you get a beautiful ride back to Jackson. And it's peaceful. And it looks amazing, and I started crying instantly.
Yeah, it was a really stunning intro to the game, like the opening credits and stuff. And it's not like a lot of games where like you just sit there and watch. You actually like control Joel riding his horse back to Jackson with Tommy.
Yeah, it felt really cinematic, like.
Yeah, that's one thing that this game really does is make it very cinematic. It's just a great experience overall, man.
I've been listening to a lot of Spoilercast about the game, and I think one thing that Greg Miller really said that I really agree with is that this is kind of the mix. It's like the perfect mix of a game, a movie, and a book, and it's like all together in this weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's kind of all three.
Well, so you have like the cinematography of a movie, and kind of the pacing, I would say, and the story of a book.
And there's a lot of reading. I mean,
you have the gameplay side of it that makes it a game.
So I just think, so the way this game opens, or movie, or whatever it is, it's a game, but I mean, whatever, is awesome. And then you get the directed by Neil Druckmann, and it's fucking sick. And then you wake up as Ellie. Well, Ellie slept in, so Jesse's waking you up. And, like, this is the beginning of the game, and you finally get to see, like, Jackson fully realized, like, peak existence in the apocalypse. If you want to live in the apocalypse, this is where you want to live. Everyone's chill.
Yeah, it's like a utopia for survivors. It's, a huge gated-in area. A lot of soldiers and families and all kinds of stuff, and you feel safe.
At first, you think it's the perfect utopia and the best place to live at the time, until later on in the game.
I mean, nothing really happens in Jackson that we know.
I
of.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, stuff happens outside of the walls.
Yeah, just never leave your
obviously.
house. This is what we should all learn from the world right now. Never leave your house, and you'll be good. Never leave Jackson, and you'll be good. So, Ellie is a badass. So she's obviously going and clearing out infected with all the people that do that kind of shit. So this is when we get our first time we spend with Dina, out with Dina. And what did y'all think of Dina?
I like Dina. I mean, I don't have anything against her. I personally didn't feel, I guess, too much attachment to her, except for obviously how much joy she brouut Ellie.
Yeah, you could tell Ellie really enjoyed.
Because it shows they really truly loved each other and cared for each other. Compared to the first game where you had Joel and Ellie the whole way through, and you made the connection with both of them. I feel like I didn't make that connection with Dina as much. Like, you know, I wanted to keep her safe and keep Ellie safe at the same time, but like, I don't know, there was just something missing.
Yeah.
But I don't have any gripes with her or anything. It's just, I think she was, you know, a fine secondary character.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her too. I liked her ever since the beginning. I didn't really have a problem with her. I mean, like I said, I could really tell. I mean, before we saw the other flashbacks and all their time spent together, you could really tell that, yeah, like they loved each other a lot. Ellie cared about her a lot and stuff like that. But the whole shit about her with her little relationship with Jesse and stuff was kind of like, because I've always been Team Ellie, so like I'm like, fuck, like shit, she was with Jesse and now she wants to be with Ellie, like make up your mind kind of thing. Like I was kind of not trustworthy.
Wasn't it like a matter of weeks too? Like after Jesse and Dina broke up?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I felt like she was kind of like on the rebound. So then I was like, well, fuck, like I feel kind of bad for Ellie. I was like, Ellie deserves better than that, you know, whatever. So I kind of, you know, at first I didn't like her as much because of that right there, but then she grew on me eventually, and I got to like her after a while. She was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I think as dialogue and stuff like that progressed early on in the game, whenever you go out on patrol with her,
yeah, the
Ellie,
convos
you
kind of
get more
Ellie,
sense of
like
them.
the jokes they make with each other. Like, all the jokes she made about Shimmer was hilarious.
Yeah, they have a really good relationship overall, but you can kind of see like at points in their relationship, like when they were just friends, you know, when Dina was still with Jesse and stuff, like early on, like they had somewhat of a connection. But obviously, you know, Dina was with someone else and Ellie was with someone else at the time, so they can never be like, you know, together in that sense. But you know, they were still like close friends and stuff.
Yeah, so the whole time we're getting introduced to Dina and Jackson and Jesse and all these characters, we're also introduced to this other playable character. She wakes up in this cabin. You're like, who the fuck is this bitch? Her arms.
Yeah, I had
No,
no
her
idea.
arms are the size of fucking redwood trees.
At first, though, I really had no idea who she was. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh, well, like, see, like, at first, like, you can hear her talking to Owen and, like, the other people, and they're, you know, like, oh, well, you know, maybe they're looking for somebody in Jackson, but then, like, maybe they're, like, not trying to, like, cause too much trouble. Maybe they're just looking for some bad guy, you know, and then they might cross paths, right? And then never did I realize who she really was and who they were really there to do.
The moment they were overlooking Jackson, and she said, "That's where his brother was." I was like, "No! Oh my God, these people are here to kill Joel." And I was like, "God damn it!" And then you fucking run into Joel, and I was like, "God damn it!" And then shit just hit the fan or hit the golf club like really fast.
Yeah, it really did. Like within what was like first 2 hours of the game.
Yeah. Maybe 4 if you take your time. Like, it's very early. In the main scheme of things, like, it's the beginning of the game.
And also to put it in perspective, like, this game could easily be anywhere between 20 to 30 hours, depending on how slow you play the game. Like, it took me just over 23 hours to beat, and I was actually taking my time, scavenging supplies, trying to find collectibles my first playthrough.
Yeah, I think I was around 30.
Shit, I was 19 hours, like, not even halfway in the game.
Yeah, you can take a long time.
I know. I took forever for sure. I don't know. I have to go look on my final time was. It was probably over 30 at least, I would think, or something around 30.
At this point, we fucking hate Abby already, like with a passion.
Yeah, because you know what her goal is, and having that connection with Joel from the first game, you're like, nah.
Yeah.
Can't go this way.
So we see this horrible scene, and then Ellie, we have to play as Ellie and like relive it again, but even worse because Ellie's there now. And then we get the awful cutscene where Abby hits him the last time, and there's still fucking brain matter on the fucking golf club and shit. And then you see Manny, you don't know him at the time, but you see Manny go and spit on him, and you're like, these are the fucking worst people ever. I'm going to kill all of them.
Every single one of
like
them.
In that trailer, I'm going to find and I'm going to kill every last one of them. Like, okay, I'm in. Fuck all these people.
Like some Liam Neeson.
Yeah, this
shit.
game is gonna be sick. Fuck yeah. So I'm all in. We go to Seattle. And then this is the first time we're kind of seeing like the open worldness of this game.
Yeah, this is when the game kind of opens up to your own pace, really.
Yeah, so I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because if we're going, it's gonna take 18 hours if I talk this long about everything.
Yes.
So
yeah, because basically Dina and Ellie are on their way to try to find Abby and her gang.
I'm gonna just talk about specific parts. What did y'all think about the part where Shimmer dies? When you jump over that little fence and it just explodes.
No. I forgot about that for a second. Damn it, dude, that really hurt me, to be honest, because look, in Red Dead 2, when your horse dies at the end and the horse is fucking crying, like whimpering, and it's sad, and then Arthur puts his hand on her face while he's getting shot at and shit. He pats her head, he's like, "You're all right, girl. You served me well. It's time to rest." I cried so much. I felt terrible. So it wasn't as bad as that. At least
when I saw this part, I thought of you about that part. I was like, Cooper's not gonna like that.
Dude, I was so upset. And then my girlfriend too. My girlfriend in the background's like, "No, the horse." I was just like, "No."
But then right after that, we get that super intense scene where Ellie is tied up and Dina like shoots the dude from through the roof.
Yeah.
And you have to like slide your foot and get the fucking piece of glass and cut the rope.
Dude, that was crazy.
That was one of the most fucking intense. Like, I know it's just a quick time event, but at the same time, it was so fucking intense.
I actually failed it the first time around because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, me too, because I didn't know I had to slide my foot over. I was like, what the fuck?
I was just like watching, thinking it was like a cutscene or something. I was just like, okay, Ellie, take your time. And then I was like, oh wait, I have to move.
So moving on, another thing that was like big coming into the game that they like kind of showed in the trailers was the addition of dogs and like how that would like change up the stealth. And I was really sad to find out that it's really hard to not kill the dogs. Like, you're gonna just end up killing hella
they
dogs.
make stealth so hard.
You found out real quick.
And like, so I was ahead of the game, and I know how much Cooper hates killing animals in video games. So I was just waiting for Cooper to get to the fucking dog part, because the first time you kill a dog, you just like, god damn it, and then you have to kill like 3 more right after. It's awful.
And then Chaz texts me, he snaps me, he's like, "So how are you dealing with killing dogs?" I'm like, "Well," I was like, "I haven't gotten to any yet, but I'll let you know." Then I messaged him like a little bit later that night. I was like, "It's really sad, but I've been shooting them in the face."
Yeah, I mean, the dogs are trained to kill you.
I mean,
it's not like they're just like,
that's
you know,
and that's what I told him. I was like, it's either
dogs.
It's like you or them. That's how it works. Like, you know, that you could do.
Yeah.
So as you progress,
but that whimpering still hits.
And then
you,
like there's like 2 ways to like not kill them. You could like throw a Molotov and they'll run away because they're scared of fire, but you got to make sure you don't throw it too close, or you accidentally burn them to a crisp.
Which you did, and you sent me a picture.
And it was horrible because there's just a burning dog corpse, and I'm just like, I don't want to be here anymore.
I remember you sent me a picture.
Or you could distract them with bottles, which is what I ended up doing when I played the second time. But like, God, I hated killing fucking dogs in this game. And playing this game, the reason it took, like, usually if it's a game like this, I'll play it in like a day or 2. But this game took me like 4 days because it's mentally exhausting playing this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it took me about a week.
Definitely. It's not something I could have just breezed through at all.
Like,
no.
I'd play like 4 hours and then I'd have to take a nap.
Yeah, me too. Like, I needed a break. Towards the last like weekend, like this past weekend, towards the end of that, like I was playing like a lot, and I was pushing myself like until late nights to try to finish it because I'm so slow when I beat games. And man, last night
before this.
Yeah, I needed to beat it before this. So I was like crunch time. But the last night was like, when I found like the Saturday night, I did a lot. I got really far, and then so like I stayed up late. So then when Chaz told me I didn't have that much left. The next day I woke up and I kind of chilled and took a break for most of the day, and then I beat it the next night. But Towards the end, man, I was just like, I didn't want it to end, but at the same time, I did want it to end because I had been exhausted mentally from playing it so much that weekend, you know.
Yeah. So we're progressing through the game. You're like you're finding different people from Abby's crew, and you're taking care of them. You're kind of right behind Tommy this whole time. And then you get we get a flashback to Ellie's birthday, which was probably my favorite part of this game. Is when you go to the museum.
I fucking love this part of the game.
Oh yeah.
Not only because I just love Ellie and Joel time, but it's just like happy Ellie and Joel time, and there's hella Jurassic Park references.
And it was such a
Yeah.
special moment too. Like it was such a I was telling this to my girlfriend a lot when we were playing. I was like, it was such a nice break from all the killing, the carnage, the depressingness. Like it was just a nice break.
Yeah.
And they had several of them, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, I have a feeling like these flashbacks weren't a thing, and then someone at Naughty Dog was like, guys, no one's gonna be able to finish this game if we don't give them some kind of happiness in the middle.
We need to chill out, man.
And then after the museum, you climb into the spaceship, and then that's probably the best fucking scene.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So like Joel basically found this museum and knew how much Ellie loved dinosaurs and space, especially. And like he found, obviously it's a video game, but obviously I don't know how the hell he found a tape recorder that had a recording.
Yeah, that's a lot of work to get that
in the apocalypse.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was such a wholesome scene, and it was a really tear-jerking moment for sure.
We kind of skipped over it, but after Joel dies and you're going through his house, one of the things that like hurt me the most was on his bedside table. There was a book about space, and he was reading that just so he could be more relatable to Ellie, and I was just like,
oh, I didn't even notice that.
God damn it! All he wants is for Ellie to love him.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a nice little touch. I never even noticed.
I didn't notice it my first time. I noticed it on my second playthrough.
That's why I'm excited.
The things you miss, and like those small little things just add so much to the meaning and motives behind characters in the story.
That's why I'm so excited for my second playthrough.
Yeah, the second playthrough is better. I liked it more because a lot of the cutscenes you like see more,
Well,
yeah, I don't have to watch Joel die a second time.
Usually when I replay a game, I'll find myself skipping a bunch of the cutscenes because I've seen it already.
It depends which one, yeah.
But this game, I did not skip a single cutscene, so that just shows how fucking.
Yeah, I never skipped the first go around.
So after, what were you gonna say?
There was also another part in the museum though that I liked at the beginning of that scene where like Joel's just like, I got you a present or a surprise. And Ellie's like, is it a dinosaur?
Oh, yeah.
And he's just like, no. And it was like her first guess. And he's like, no. And then she keeps guessing on the way there. And then as soon as she like gets like into the area and like moves past the leaves, it's just like a huge Tyrannosaurus statue. And she's like, it is a dinosaur. I love that part. It was. Did
so you could climb on top and like cannonball into the water?
Yeah. I did that the very first time. I climbed on and then you like cannonball off of it into the water.
I didn't think the water was deep enough, so I like climbed back down. But
I took a chance.
Yeah. So after the happiness, we go back to the dreariness of the real world, and we go to one of my favorite like settings of this game that we revisit multiple times is the aquarium.
Yeah.
And we see this aquarium in multiple time periods, multiple times a year. And apparently, I haven't been to the Seattle aquarium, but apparently like the layout is like super correct of how it actually is, so that's cool.
Yeah, supposedly a lot of the Seattle stuff is pretty accurate, like layouts of like buildings and stuff like that.
Naughty Dog probably just took the map from Second Son. They like hit up Sucker Punch, and I was like, "Yo, give us that shit so we can have our map."
Yeah.
Speaking of Sucker Punch, Ghost of Tsushima, Spoilercast, sometime after that game comes out in a couple weeks.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that one's gonna take a little
longer.
longer.
Take a while to beat that one.
Yeah.
But we'll have podcasts
Yeah,
in between. We won't try to hold y'all out for too much.
So we're at the aquarium, and this is where one of the most heartbreaking scenes of the game. Ellie kills Owen and Mel, kind of by accident, but not really, and then finds out Mel's pregnant.
Well, yeah, it was pretty much by accident. You could tell she didn't want to do it, but it kind of just was like an oh shit moment. Like what?
Well, she was probably gonna do it, but like it was kind of like a fighting. Yeah,
like a panic.
So the reason why is because Ellie ends up killing both of them is because she wants them to point to a location on a map individually to show her where Abby is. If they both pointed to the same location, they're telling the truth, or they're both lying. She doesn't really know. But if they point to different locations, she knows one's lying and the other one is telling the truth. So
Joel method.
Mel would have gladly told her where Abby was because she didn't like Abby at all. Where Owen still has feelings for her, doesn't want to give up her location. So before Ellie was going to kill probably them regardless, because Owen wasn't going to tell and then Mel would have told, so they wouldn't have lined up.
Yeah,
you're right.
I love that.
That's the whole
we don't get it at the time, but when Mel's talking about Abby, he's like, she's probably dead anyway. And you're like, where the fuck is Abby if she's probably dead anyway?
Yeah.
you at the time you don't know, but after you realize she's on fucking Scars Island, which we didn't even get to the Scars yet. We'll get to the Scars.
Oh, that's some nasty bad.
That's a whole different faction from the group Abby and all them with Abby and all them is with the WLF or the Wolves.
Yeah.
And then there's another faction in Seattle called the Seraphites, or what they're called by the Wolves as Scars, because they have scars on their faces.
So Ellie figures out that Mel was pregnant, and then she freaks the fuck out because, like, fuck, that's some heavy shit, man.
And it hits close to home for her because Dina is as well.
And this is one of the worst parts of the game. Ellie just bounces and leaves the fucking map with their home base on it. And I'm just like, as soon as I saw the map on the ground, I'm like, that fucking map has home base on it.
She goofed.
So,
yep.
So we go back to the theater, and Tommy's there, and Jesse's there, and everyone's having a good old time. They're like, yeah, we're going to go back to Jackson, you know. Dina's fucking preggo, so we got to get her back to town, you know. And then, out of nowhere, fucking Jesse gets popped in the fucking dome.
Damn, you skipped a lot of parts.
I mean, Cooper, we're fucking an hour in, and we're not even halfway through.
Yeah, we're not going to sit here for 30 hours.
I did skip a lot, but I was talking 30 minutes about Jackson, so let's just go. So fucking Jesse's fucking pop. If you get that reference, I love you. And then we get an amazing performance from Laura Bailey here as Abby. Like, this scene was so fucking... I was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, the performances by all the actors with the mocap is just amazing. Yeah. Not only in like just giving a performance for like the actual scenes where there's cut scenes, but like also just gameplay footage of like when Ellie or Abby's putting people in chokeholds. Like you see their facial expressions and stuff, and it's just insane. But that's kind of the reason why it's almost like a movie. Like the acting is just so good.
Like when Abby's like, "We let you live and you wasted it." Like I was like,
this fucking crazy, dude.
So Abby's whole thing was getting revenge on Joel because should we just say it right now or do you want to wait till later?
I mean, you can say it.
I mean, everyone listening right now should have already
if you didn't play the game.
So Joel killed Abby's father, who was the doctor in the surgery room who was supposed to perform the surgery on Ellie in the first game. She's obviously upset because Joel killed her dad and so many other people that she cared for and knew in the Fireflies. So she sought her vengeance just on Joel, not Ellie, just Joel. And she traveled all this way, trained her whole life. Like, her purpose in life was to kill Joel. Like, that's what she made her life's
I mean, you
mission.
see it with her body. She turned herself into a killing machine to kill this man that she thought was this monster. And then she finds him, and he's this old man.
Yeah, he's like a 55-year-old dude.
And she's like, I didn't have to get this ripped. God damn it, I could have fucking ate a burger or two.
I remember you when you did tell me,
so
Chaz, you were like, there's a reason why her arms are so big, and you never told me the reason.
And the reason is
Well, now you know.
I
she
know
needed
now.
to
Yeah.
dedicate her life. She dedicated her life to killing Joel.
No, I know now. I'm just saying. Back then, you didn't tell me. You're like, oh, there's a reason.
And in the we're gonna get to the Abby parts, but in all the flashbacks with Owen, she's always like, "Come on, we gotta go to training. We can't miss training." Like, you see how fucking dedicated she was to becoming a killer.
Well, hey, those guys were all those people. They were like doing military grade training. Because I mean, if you notice, all the manuals she found for her skill trees were all military manuals. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the WLF, the Wolves are very military,
Right.
kind of like centric as far as like their whole structure.
Yeah.
Compared to other factions that we've played against in these games. But yeah, so like going back to that point about her purpose, like she had no beef with Ellie or anybody else. It was just Joel. So that's why they let Tommy and Ellie live and didn't do anything to them.
Even though that's obviously
so
not the
that's why she
smart
mentioned
thing to
that.
do, it wasn't about them. And if they
Yeah,
killed them, they're
it
not
wasn't
any
very
better
smart.
than Joel.
Obviously,
Yeah.
because there's no justice out here. You got to take it all into your own hands in a post-apocalypse.
So we get this big build up to Abby and Ellie in the theater. And then this is where a lot of people stop liking the game because it just cuts and starts kind of a game from the beginning again. And you have to work your way back up to that point. And I'll be honest, when we switched to Abby, I was like, I do not want to play as this fucking bitch right now. I do not.
Same.
And I can totally understand people having that feeling because I'm pretty sure all of us did. And like, but I'm not gonna hate a game. I'm gonna see it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
a lot of people was like, "Oh, I have to play half this game as Abby." Fuck this game. I don't hate. I don't like it. I don't care.
Mhm.
There's nothing you can do to make me like this character. And I was in the same boat, but slowly, this is when we realize the thing about Joel killing her dad, and you're like, God damn it! Now that starts to make sense.
Yeah, because the very first part is her with her dad. They're out in the woods and stuff. In a way, she lost him or something like that, and it was kind of his way of trying to give her a tracking lesson, which comes into play later in the game, obviously, of her trying to track down Joel and then tracking down Ellie and all this kind of stuff. But you know, that's kind of when you end up finding out who her dad was, because there's a whole scene after that of him in the hospital
With Marlene.
Yeah, talking about the procedure
and
the risks, and you get that sense of humanity from them, of just like, you know, like from both of them in a way. It's like, you know, this cure can save thousands or maybe even millions of people, but you know, at the same time, it's like, if it was my daughter, you know, it would be hard for me to go through with this procedure, but at the same time, it's like, whose life is more important? Like, everyone's, or just this one?
Ellie's life's more important. Sorry, everyone.
And then even Abby overhears them, and she says, "If it was me, I would want you to do it." And Ellie feels the same way. Ellie hates Joel for what he did. And like, I agree with her. Like, what Joel did was so selfish, and I'm not saying I wouldn't have did the same thing if I was in that position, because I probably would have. But like, I could totally understand.
It's really hard. It's really hard not to.
Yeah, like, I've always considered Joel not a great character. He's a pretty bad person. But you like?
No, there's really no purely good people in these games.
I personally didn't think Joel was like some evil villain that was like a, you know, like, I didn't look at him as that way.
Obviously.
I looked at him, I always loved Joel as a character. I looked at him as like a dad figure to Ellie, and like he was always, I mean, you heard when Jesse would talk, he would say, Joel's so worried about everybody's routes, and like, he gives advice. He's just a caretaker kind of guy, like, you know, and I just think he's an overall good guy, but of course he's done bad things. Everyone in that whole town's done bad things, I feel like.
Yeah, everyone in this universe is a bad, everyone.
Especially, obviously, in a post-apocalyptic world. I mean, like, you gotta do a lot of things that you wouldn't normally do.
Exactly.
Is that Troy Baker Southern accent and the guitar? You can get away with anything.
Yeah, you're so right. Troy Baker could get away with anything.
Yeah. Also, the guitar
Oh,
plays
dude,
a
the
huge,
guitar.
I loved it.
huge
I
role in
loved it.
this
I
game.
played so many songs that
So-
I made up.
And there's so many clips on YouTube and on Twitter of people playing actual songs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I have no musical talent whatsoever, so
This
that's pretty
game is
cool.
making me want to try and play guitar again for the 80th time. I'm gonna play for like a day and be like, "This is hard. I can't do this," and quit.
But as far as like the symbolism of the guitar, it was obviously a hobby passed down from Joel to Ellie. He's the one who got her the guitar.
Yeah. In
Taught
the
her how
first
to
game, he's
play.
like, "I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar," and you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, and it was this connection that they had, this worldly connection that they had, even when Joel wasn't there
Yeah.
anymore. You know, he died, but his memory can still live on, and you know the music that Ellie can play.
Yeah. I love the guitar stuff, especially that scene.
Until later on.
That scene where she plays "Take on Me" for Dina.
Oh man.
Oh my God, so
That
good.
song, I was telling Chad, that song sounds like a lot better to me on acoustic than it does like the original version.
It really
It's
does.
And,
such
like,
a great sound.
Not like
It changes the tone of it for sure.
Yeah.
Because you actually like hear the words and understand it more. Like it just has a completely different meaning. Even though the meaning is the same, it's just a different tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're playing as Abby, and we're kind of getting the other side of the WLF. And at this point, I'm really mad because they're making me play with this fucking dog that I know I just murdered. I just slit this dog's fucking
Yeah,
throat.
that's true.
But hey, let's go play fetch in the yard with Alice, guys. Let's make you care for the
And Bear, who you all can also kill
yeah.
later.
So
Or already killed later. Killed earlier, I should say. Potentially.
yeah, and I need to give a shout out to Manny, amazing character who did not get enough love in this game.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
He was badass. Now we're kind of starting to see this war that has been plaguing Seattle for however many years between the WLF and the Scars or the Seraphites. One of my favorite like enemy factions in any game ever are the Scars. They're so cool with the whistling, the way they talk to each other, and like you learn.
It's like a faction of Yandus just whistling and shooting arrows.
And they're just god tiers with their bow and arrows and shit. And you learn more about like their history and everything later in the game.
Yeah, they have a really, really interesting like backstory and lore.
Yeah. So now we meet Isaac, who's like the leader of the WLF, played by that dude from Westworld that I forgot his name. Shout out to that guy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Bernard from Westworld. I forgot his actual name though.
I feel like I knew that and it just didn't click.
Yeah.
Because it does sound like him, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like, I love that character. I love that actor. So seeing him in the game was hella dope. And then we got another flashback with Owen at the aquarium. And this is when we're kind of starting to see the relationship that Owen and Abby used to have pre-Joel obsession. Well, it's kind of during, but... Okay, so after this, Abby gets captured. And then she gets saved by possibly the best character in this game. My boy, the last airbender, and Lev.
Ang Lev.
So now we're starting to really see like the savagery of the Seraphites, and like they'll like cut your guts out and like free the spirits and shot aside type shit, like super culty shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, very kind of extreme religious cult sort of thing.
And then we just see them break this bitch's arm with a hammer, and it's disgusting. Disgusting.
Oh god, the worst.
Okay, so now we get the best scene in the game. The Owen Abby sex scene. I know this is the 5th time I've said this is the best scene in the game, but a lot of people didn't like this scene. I thought it was fucking sick, because I like angry sex, and this was dope.
Yeah, didn't they have like an argument like right before it?
Leading up to it.
They were literally like fighting, and then
You just started kissing.
Abby puts her arm on Owen, and then it's fucking over. And then TOS, you get kicked from Twitch for streaming the game.
Yeah, anger's an aphrodisiac for people,
Yeah.
man.
So after that scene, Abby's feeling kind of guilty because even though she killed Joel, she still feels like there's no real purpose in the world. Which I feel you there, Abby.
Yeah, like she like lost her purpose, I guess. Like she had this planned her whole life, and then like it's, what do you do now?
Yeah. So she goes back and to check on Lev and Yara because she left them in this random camper with a broken ass, infected arm. That's like redder than a fucking red hot dog.
Or a hot tamale, like
Yeah, or some, yeah. So Abby's like, God damn it, I know exactly who can fix this arm, even though I don't want to fix this arm because that means I have to bring this bitch to Mel. So she brings her to Mel, and then everyone's like, what the fuck? You bringing scars into the aquarium? Isaac's #1 scar killer suddenly has a change of heart. I love that line. That was such a good line.
Yeah.
Because you're finally starting to see that Abby isn't like the rest of the WLF. She's not like
she's had a, obviously killing Joel had a huge impact on her, like morally and emotionally, and like it just kind of changed her way of like thinking. Like she had a change of heart. Like
it was around this time I'm starting to actually like really like Abby, and I'm like, she's kind of her story and Ellie's story are like very similar. Like
very very one and the same almost.
So Yara's gonna fucking lose her. Oh, Yara's gonna die if she doesn't get her arm amputated because her arm's hella infected, but not kind of like clicker infected, like real life infected. Lev's like, all right, we gotta get to the hospital quick. I got this. We got these fucking sky bridges, and Abby's like, what? And then you climb these fucking skyscrapers, and there's literally like sky bridges. When we were going up, I was like, what the fuck is this gonna be, like some trampolines or something? But like, this is like
it's like wooden bridges.
It's like fucking cranes that fell from one building to another, and they like fastened. I don't know. This shit was crazy.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah, I'm afraid of heights, and I felt terrified for Abby.
Yeah, she went
like,
and she was losing it.
Like, yeah, I felt for her because I would be the exact same.
By far, the time I died most in this game was trying to fucking balance on that fucking crane. For some reason, I could not do it. I legit died like 10 times both playthroughs. So we finally get to the hospital, and we get one of the. I know I've said this 10 times already. One of the best scenes of the game.
One of the best.
We fight probably the only like kind of boss of the game.
Oh,
the
one
Rat
of my
King
favorite parts.
So fucking cool.
Hell no.
As soon as that thing broke out, I was like,
fuck this shit, I'm out. Later.
We were talking in our Twitter group, and I had just got to that part on like I don't remember which night it was, Saturday night, Sunday night, and I was like, luckily I'm obsessed with crafting shit, and I was very prepared. And he came messages, well, I'm glad you were, because I was not.
Dude, I had no ammo.
Yeah, luckily they give you like just enough in that area in case
in that area had a good bit. But see, I learned my lesson from Last of Us 1. I always make sure to have 3 med kits if I can, and also at least 3 Molotovs just in case for bloaters and like or anything like that, And then also the new enemy type, those like fast clickers. They were like clickers but fast stalkers. Yeah. Those things. Fuck them for sure, but they were cool though at the same time. I think they were pretty cool. Just to be
they're fucking terrifying.
Enemy.
It was a new addition for sure. It was a fresh new addition for an infected.
The first time you see it, when you turn the corner to the door and it's in the door and it just fucking runs out and you're like, oh fuck, what was that?
Dude, and as soon as I saw that, I'm just like, oh no, please. I take my shotgun on, I'm just like aimed in, walking around the building.
Yeah. Shotgun's your best friend in this part.
So this whole trip to the hospital and back, Lev and Abby are really starting to bond, and this is probably my favorite section of the game is when it's Lev and Abby, because Lev is teaching Abby about the Seraphites, and Abby's kind of teaching Lev about the old world, because like Seraphites.
Yeah, they're putting their differences aside and communicating.
One of the things I like about the Seraphites is like, for the most part, they don't really fuck with like any kind of technology.
Except soldiers.
Yeah, unless they're a soldier because they can use guns. But like, I liked when I forgot what part it was, but like Yara like grabbed something out of an apartment, and Lev was like, "What are you doing? That's old world stuff. Like we don't mess with that." Like I was like,
use that.
that's such a cool thing to think about. Like they don't want anything to do with this old world. Like this is a new world.
Yeah, nothing that runs on batteries or electricity. Or
that reminded me we need to talk about the
anything.
workbenches and how fucking amazing the workbenches are.
Okay, let's start off by saying when you turn on the switch on the power strip, that's my favorite part first.
Dude, hell yes. And then the animations of actually fixing the guns.
Yes, oh my god, this is my part to talk about.
The only gripe I had with it was every time you switched over to a different weapon, you would take the weapon out of like your backpack, and I was like, I don't want to select it. I just want to scroll over to the next.
Oh yeah,
dude, yeah.
Please. That was the only gripe I had. But other than that, it was.
I love
pretty
the
cool.
attachments were awesome.
And that you had to unload and reload every
Yeah.
single time too.
The attachments, like for the guns, were really awesome. I mean, I like Ellie's. Like Abby's semi-auto rifle is awesome just because you keep shooting. But I liked Ellie's bolt action because Kay could feel me on this, and there's just something about a good bolt action. It's just.
Oh, they both have the bolt action, don't they?
Well, no. What's her name? Abby's one was like a semi-auto. It was more of like a.
Yeah, it's like a semi-auto like rifle.
Abby has the crossbow.
Ellie has the actual like sniper.
Crossbow is the best gun in the game. Actually,
the crossbow was dumb. Oh yeah, the hunting pistol. I call that bitch the elephant gun because it reminded me of the revolver from Resident Evil. That shit was badass, dude. And it was also cool.
Dude, that thing was so good, and you can craft ammo for it.
Like I had got the upgrade and I crafted ammo. And like whenever I'd fight those stalker things, dude, it was later. Yeah, the elephant gun.
So we get the stuff for Yara's arm at the hospital. We get back to the aquarium. They amputate Yara's arm. I didn't realize it the first time, but when you go as Ellie through the aquarium and she goes through like the little room and she sees like all the bandages and the saw and stuff, and she's like, "What the fuck happened here?" On the second playthrough, I'm like, "Holy shit! They just cut off Yara's arm! Holy!" That's such a cool moment.
All the pieces start falling together.
And then here we get another scene I really liked between Owen and Abby, where Owen's like, "What happened to us?" And Abby's like, "What happened to us?" And Owen was like, "I guess we stopped looking for the light." And I was like, fireflies, yes. And then we kind of get during the whole Abby Lev part, when you're fighting some of the scars, they keep calling Lev Lily, and I kind of started to get the picture. And then Lev was like, "Did you hear what they called me?" And Abby was like, "Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?" And Lev was like, "No." And she's like, "Okay." Like I love that like little exchange between the two.
We didn't have to talk about it if you didn't want to.
Yeah, and then
and also earlier on, like Abby asks, like why, because obviously like Lev and Yara are Seraphites and they're Seraphites trying to kill them. So she was obviously curious as to like why they turned on them, like what did they do? And the answer was because I cut my hair. Because Lev has like a buzz cut. You're just kind of like, okay, why is that? Like, is it like a a rite of passage, a ritual thing? Like maybe when like a boy comes of age.
I thought it was just a religious thing at first. Like you can't cut your hair.
So you kind of have that like in the back of your mind, but you don't. You're just like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But traditions and stuff like that, like weird. There's weirder shit out there. So.
And then it's not till you're at the aquarium. There's a scene with Yara where she spells it out. Like, he was supposed to be an elder's wife, and then you're like, oh, now everything makes sense.
And then I totally feel him on that one. I understand why he did it.
All he wanted to do was be a soldier like his sister, and it just was not going to happen. So he had to become who he truly was, which is Lev and not Lily.
Yeah.
And
because in the Seraphite like traditions and stuff, it's when they hit a certain age, they give like the elders give them a role in the community of what they could be, whether it's a farmer, a soldier, whatever it is. And Les was to be a wife of one.
And
of the elders.
their mom is like really high up in the cult, so like they can't really like go against anything.
Yeah, because they punish not only the person responsible, but the entire family.
And at this point, Lev runs away because he wants to go talk to his mom, because he knows that like with him leaving, his mom is probably gonna take the brunt of the punishment.
Yeah. So also because Owen had, there's a boat at the aquarium that they were fixing up to take to Catalina Island, because Catalina Island is where they got word. Like, they've heard talk and rumors that that's where the Fireflies were trying to reform.
Yeah, Owen's just trying to get
and
back
they were
going
to
to
take
Fireflies.
Yara and Lev with them away from Seattle.
So Lev runs away, and then we get another amazing part of this game is the Seraphites Island.
This part was intense.
Hell yeah. Like, a lot of people said like this part was kind of like a filler. They thought this part was filler, but dude, I love this part, going through all the huts and shit. Like,
Hell yeah.
I thought it was so fucking dope.
One of the parts where you're in like the little having to hide in little cornfields, and they have the Seraphites walking around with the torches, and there's like a bunch of them, and you gotta sneak. That part was awesome.
That part reminded me of the part in Red Dead when you're in the fields and you're hiding and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. I brought it up because I thought about it, but at the Seraphites Island, they have the workbench, and you turn on the little lamp instead of the switch. That was so fucking cool. So
small little things that add
little
so much
things
to the
like
world.
that just make this game just so much better. So we're getting to see the island and see how the Seraphites live and stuff, and then as we're there, of course, the fucking WLF attack the Seraphites, because these two groups have been in a war for so long.
You hear earlier on in discussion of Isaac with some people that they were going to use a storm as cover for their attack, so that way they couldn't hear them.
Also, dude, in the part when you're on the hill, you could see all their boats like driving towards the
dude, that part was so cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be bad.
So we finally get to Lev's and Yara's house, and we find their mom dead, and Lev in the corner crying because he accidentally just killed his mom, as if his life couldn't get any harder. He accidentally kills his mom. And then they're like, oh yeah, you can't even be sad. We gotta fucking run. There's millions of people around us trying to kill us.
No time to mourn.
They're running. They run into fucking Isaac and the WLF. And Isaac's like, Abby, what the fuck are you doing trying to save these scars? And
he was like, what's that behind you?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, like
like treating Lev like not even human, just like a
fucking asshole, dude.
And Yara gets shot. She's on the ground during this whole part, and it looks like Isaac's about to kill Abby and Lev, because he's so done with the scars. He just wants to be done with all of them. And then fucking Yara pops him in the head, and then Yara gets fucking obliterated by like 80 fucking gunshots, as if Lev's life couldn't get any harder.
Which I didn't.
Again, we say if it couldn't get any harder.
Which I didn't expect to happen at all, dude. And I always said that, like, I would always make that comment every time I was playing the game. I would say to myself, everything that happens in this game, I never expected. Pretty much never, like every time.
And then right after that, we get. I know I've said this 10 times. My favorite scene when when Lev's like, "These are your people," and then Abby's like, "You are my people."
Yeah, that was a great part.
Fuck yes, Abby. And at this point, I'm Team Abby. Fuck you, Ellie. You can die. I don't give a fuck about you no more. Abby's my girl. Woo woo.
Are you changing your dog's name? He
wants
now?
to.
My next dog is if my next dog's a boy, it's gonna be named Lev. If it's a girl, it's gonna be named Abby.
He's ridiculous because he used to be in love. He used to be in love with Ellie, dude. Now he's turned.
Ellie. We'll get to a part about killing Ellie.
Who wants to adopt
later.
Ellie?
That was funny. Have this crazy escape. The island's on fire. We're on horseback shooting people. It's this crazy like Uncharted type scene, which I enjoy scenes like that. A lot of people don't like those like on rail like parts, but I think they're pretty fun because they're just, like, super cinematic.
How about that fight with that big brute?
Oh, dude,
at the
that was
God.
How intense
when he
was
like
that?
cut
It
his
was
he like
insane.
cut his face in half and he's just like fine.
Yeah.
And he's still
I was
attacking you. Like, that didn't even phase him. Dude has like half a face and he's just like,
Dude,
I
he's
don't
been
care.
eating his Wheaties.
Oh, dude, dude, that was a fun. Like, I love the brute fights. Like, they're kind of all the same, but
Yeah.
those dudes with the big ass fucking axes, dude.
Freaking pickaxe he's hitting you with.
When you die from them and they just fucking smash your skull, it's so.
Yeah,
fucking
it's a cool execution.
yeah.
This is out of order, but I kind of skipped it. The part where you're getting shot at by Tommy.
Oh man.
Oh
That part is
yeah,
super
with
cool.
Manny and Abby are chasing
Yeah.
him. That you don't realize who it is at first because he's sniping
that
off of a
shit was
bridge.
crazy. Me and Chad was talking about that the other day. How I was like the whole time I'm like, I didn't think it was him at first because I didn't catch when Manny said he was an
Me neither. And
outsider
then until
or a
it
trespasser. Or
pretty much
whatever.
revealed who it was, I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
why
get
he
him.
was sniping me. Because I was thinking to myself, damn, this Seraphite is like awesome at sniping. It's the best in the whole village.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then that's the first time you think Tommy's dead when you shove him into the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tommy comes back so many times. That's why at the end of the game he's walking around with a fucking limp and half an eye.
Tommy got messed up in this game.
Yeah, man. Okay, so we escaped the Scars Island, and Abby returns to the aquarium and she finds Owen and she finds Ellie's mess. Owen and Mel dead, and Lev notices the map, and I'm like, God damn it, Lev, I love you, but you didn't have to show her the map. So
Yeah, you could have just ignored it.
this is when we're caught up to the scene. We let
Yeah.
you live and you wasted it, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And then we get what is probably my least favorite part of this game is this super awkward like boss fight with Ellie.
Yeah.
Like, I like the end part where they're like hand fighting.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the beginning part where you have to hit her with a bottle is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and she's hard, dude, because like the first thing you do is try to go after her and try to punch her and shit, but then she stabs you in the fucking ribs with a machete, and then you're like, then it says at the bottom, do not attack Ellie head on. I'm like, yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah, I got messed
She
up by
just
Elliot a
shotguns you in the
couple times.
face.
Oh,
But
that
I
happened to
thought
me.
it was a really cool fight because like the whole time you're just kind of
Trying
like
to sneak.
you're like trying to sneak and like trying to make her aware of where you are, and she's setting down traps and stuff for you, and like at the same time it's like you need to defeat Ellie, but you also don't want to defeat
Yeah.
her, you know, because like at this point it's like, is this where does Abby kill Ellie
Yeah,
here?
exactly, like-
who knows, like, are they gonna make me kill Ellie? Like, that's kind of like what's going through your head in
That
this
went
fight.
through my head a bunch of times.
Yeah, during this part, I was literally like when Abby's strangling Ellie. When I was playing it, I was literally screaming, "Am I about to kill Ellie? Am I about to kill Ellie?" And if like someone from outside my house would have heard, because my dog's named Ellie, they'd be like, "What the fuck is happening in there?" But like, I like the part where they're hand fighting. I just thought the part where you're sneaking around was kind of weird. But
It reminds me of the fight in the first game with Nolan North's character.
yeah.
It was very,
Yeah,
kind of
exactly like that.
kind of similar.
So
I can't think of the guy's name, but
fuck, I can't think of his name either.
I did have one thing to ask. Okay, the sort of, they call them shamblers in this game, but they're not the same as the bloater you fought in the high school gym with Joel and Ellie, right?
no, because there's bloaters also in
Yeah,
this
there's
game
both,
too. Like the
yeah.
bloater was in the arcade,
Yeah, that's true.
and I think there was
That's
another
true.
part.
There was a bloater.
But they're kind of like a midway between a bloater and a
yeah, like
clicker, I
right.
guess.
That's what I was thinking too. They're like
Or a-
right before
yeah.
a bloater because they're smaller. They're definitely smaller.
Yeah, they're a lot
Yeah.
quicker too.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I had forgot that there was. Yeah, you fought one in that arcade. That arcade area was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I love that part. That was so cool.
That was a cool
Little
area.
land area up top and shit.
I love exploring shit like that.
Speaking of exploring, the collectibles in this game were so cool. The trading
Fuck yeah,
cards,
the
and
cards,
coins.
dude.
There's 286
That's a
collectibles.
lot.
Hey, Platinum Club, raise your hand. I'm raising my hand. Anyone else in here raising your hand?
I'm not. I'm on my second
I'm
playthrough. I
starting
just got
soon.
to the part with where actually the horse being blown up.
Oh, that's sad.
So Abby's about to kill Ellie, and then Tina comes in and saves the day. And then Abby's beating the fuck out of Dina, and then Ellie's like, no, she's pregnant. And then Abby's like, good. And I'm like, fuck yeah, kill this pregnant bitch. Yeah. Abby, do it. Oh my
god, listen to this dude right here. He's a maniac.
I'm just team whatever Abby wants, I'm about it, dude. But then Lev was like, Abby, don't do that. And then she's like, fuck Lev, I'm gonna listen to you because you're fucking Lev and you're badass.
And you're innocent and you started crying and you've been through enough, so I don't want you to put you through more. You're gonna be Avatar one day. Like, you need to, you know.
So after that cool fight, we get the farm scene. Which at first I was like, is The Last of Us gonna end with a happy ending? Because like this is like positive vibes. You're there with JJ, Dina's baby, which I'm assuming is named Jesse Joel or Joel Jesse. Either way, kind of weird. We're gonna stick
Jesse
with JJ.
Jr. Even potentially.
Yeah. But I love this farm scene with Dina. Like, it was like everything I wanted Ellie to ever have in life is here.
It's kind of also a part where Dina grew on me a bit more was around here.
Yeah, like they definitely yeah, I feel you with that
as well, because like it just shows how like she just wanted this homestead life with Ellie without any worries about any more fighting or anything like that. Like, they had their family and she just wanted to live out their lives happily.
Yep.
You know, the three of
Everything was good until Ellie's rounding up some sheep boys, goes into the barn and has a straight-on PTSD panic attack about Joel. And this is when you realize this game is not going to have a happy ending, is it? Because it's The Last of Us, and fuck our lives. Sadness is here.
Sad hours always.
So you don't play this game for a happy ending.
Yep. So Ellie's out hunting some rabbits, and then Tommy shows up, and you're like, "The fuck? Tommy's alive? I thought he just got shot in the head." Turns out he didn't get shot. Well, he got shot in the head, but it was like
he got shot. He just lost his eye.
Yeah, he got shot in the perfect way that he's pretty much fine. So
and he somehow didn't drown.
Yeah, so good for you, Tommy. I wish Joel had plot armor like this. So Tommy's like, hey, we found Abby. Go kill her, because I can. Because I should be dead, but I'm not. And then Ellie's like, no, like, I can't. This is bad. And Dina's like, what the fuck are you doing coming here with this shit? You gonna take my bae away from me? And I'm like, get her, Dina. Get him, Dina, bro. Get him. I was on... Fuck Tommy, bro. That shit pissed me off.
Yeah, I didn't like.
I grew to like not like Tommy as much. I didn't like
him. I didn't like him in that part either. He
like,
was kind of being
I understand what he's coming from, and Ellie understands because she knows that he's right. Because like, she has no closure. She's still fucked up from this. So
yeah, because you know, I mean, like, Abby killed Joel, and Joel's her
dad.
Basically her dad and Tommy's brother, and like all this shit happened because of that. And they went from, where's Jackson, like Wyoming or something like that, all the way from Wyoming to Seattle, and like came so close, but they didn't finish the job. And they have a chance to finish it. And like Tommy lost a lot. I mean, Ellie also, you know, lost Joel, but like they also lost Jesse. Tommy lost, you know, his marriage with Maria over this. His eye.
Yeah, his eye.
As well as his brother. So like he doesn't want this to be for nothing.
So he puts that idea in Ellie's head, and as soon as he does that, you're like, God damn it, Ellie's gonna go try and find Abby. At this point, we get a scene as Abby with Lev. Fuck yeah. Finding the fireflies. I was super pumped. because I want anything to do with Abby and Lev. I'm there for, and I'm hoping we get some DLC, even though they said we're not going to. So fuck my life. So
I have theories.
Abby gets.
But we'll talk about
Wait,
that later.
what?
Said I have theories, but we'll talk about it later.
So Abby they finally get in touch with the Fireflies, and it's yay, happy ending, right? Nope. Lev gets fucking shoved into a fucking. Lev gets punched into a fucking a garage door.
It gets like shit punched, dude.
Dude, they get shit on by another faction, probably the worst faction out of all of them, like in terms of like
they're just like thugs.
Horrible things that they do. The Rattlers,
definitely the worst.
Yeah, they're like a biker gang, basically, just some old white dudes.
So Abby gets captured by these fucks, and then we are back to Ellie, and Ellie gets captured. She gets fucking stabbed in the right by a tree. This shit's fucking gnarly, brother.
And then my favorite part happens where she's talking to the dude voiced by Logic randomly, and he's like talking shit to her, like, oh, look at her, she's so scared of the clicker. She's like, you're the one who looks like you're scared, you little bitch. And he starts to, what you said? Then she just grabs him and just fucking shit shoves him, gets eaten by the clicker. Then she uses it as a human shield because he had a bulletproof vest on. That's survival tactics right there. That's what you call thinking on your feet in a second. Then she shit on that dude's kneecap with a fucking sub, bro. I loved it. That was my favorite part.
This part is when we get the submachine gun.
Yeah, that was a pretty badass moment.
I love the submachine gun. On your second playthrough, you just have so much ammo, so you can literally just spray down people. It's like fucking...
Yeah, and you can also just spray down clickers without having to worry about or anything, without having to worry about...
a headshot.
Alerting them.
So, Ellie finds the Rattler's home base, and she finds like where all the prisoners are being kept, and she's like, yo, where's this bitch named Abby? And the guy's like, oh, she's on the pillars on the beach, but like she's probably dead by now. And you're like, what the fuck, the pillars? And then you go out to the beach, and there's just these people like crucified pretty much on like these sticks, and you're like, holy fuck. And then you see Lev, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Slowly die.
And you're looking around for Abby, and you don't see her anywhere. And you're looking, and then you see this, like, fucked up skinny bitch, and then you realize that this skinny bitch is Abby. Because she's so malnourished now, you can't even recognize her.
I couldn't even find her hair either. Like, when I was looking for her, I couldn't find her at first.
Yeah, I went to all of the people. I was like, where the fuck's Abby? Like,
also, I saw one girl, like, wait, this is Abby. Then I looked really good, and there was no button prompt. I'm like, oh, but this isn't her, I guess.
Yeah, and then, so Ellie frees Abby from the pillar, and then Abby's actually, like, helping Ellie. She's like, come on, there's boats this way. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. And I'm just like, fuck, if anything, I want Abby to kill Ellie right now so bad. But I know that's not going to happen. So Abby's like, I'm not going to fight you. And then Ellie's like, you know what, you will. And then Ellie does the worst thing possible. What does she do? She threatens my boy Lev. And at this point, Ellie's dead to me. Fuck this bitch.
Oh my god. What is with you, dude? Jesus Christ.
No, I'm joking, but I wanted Abby to kill Ellie at this point.
Dude, that's fucked up. No, I like how
I know.
I didn't know what I wanted at this point in the game. I was just like, dude, I don't know what's going to happen. I was just like, maybe she just does let Abby and Lev go. Like, maybe all of a sudden she just had, like, this change of heart and was just like, you know what?
That's what I thought was going to happen.
But then she's like, no, you fight me. Like, I can't let you leave.
We have to do this.
And for a while you thought, like, she was going to straight up kill Abby because, she has, like, no strength left. And you're choking her underwater, trying to drown her. And then, like, Abby bites off Ellie's pinky and ring finger on her left hand. Which, strong jaws, by the way.
Yeah, dude, she bit right through them bitches.
I don't even know, to be honest.
She must have been doing some jaw workouts when she was working out.
At first, I didn't even know if she had bit it off.
She trained every muscle, man.
But I'll tell you what.
But
At that point, I didn't want either of them to die. I wanted it to just be like, what I really wanted was them to not fight and Ellie just like, when she had that moment of recollection where she was kind of just like, I'm gonna like, she was, you thought she was gonna let her go, where she was letting her get in the boat and Ellie was getting her own boat. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought at that moment she was just gonna let her go, and I would have been fine with that. But then like they fought, and I was like, okay, fine. I just don't want anyone to die. I didn't want either of them to die. I didn't want, because I liked them so much. I liked everyone. I didn't want anyone to die. But,
so Ellie's drowning Abby to the point where Abby's like literally about to die, and then Ellie finally remembers Joel. Something about Joel that isn't him being killed. This is the first time she can think of Joel, and it's not him being murdered. And that's when she knows she doesn't need to kill Abby. She's done all she needs to do. And she lets Abby go. And Ellie sits there with her missing fingers and her missing love interests and her missing family. And she's lost literally everything in her life.
Yep.
And that's the story of this game. Revenge does not win.
Well, she ends up going back to the farmhouse after this whole ordeal in California with Abby, and she goes back to an empty house. Dina and JJ left. The whole house is cleared out except for one room, which had all of Ellie's stuff, her guitar, her artwork, everything, and she tries to play the guitar, and she can't. Like, she's missing 2 fingers, so she can't hit those notes.
At first, I thought I was just fucking up the minigame. I was like, goddamn, you think I'd be good at this minigame 40 hours into this fucking game? But no, Ellie just can't fucking play guitar anymore. It's the most fucking depressing thing ever.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then probably one of the most beautiful yet somber ways of ending the game was she puts the guitar down on the windowsill, like by the windowsill, laying down. And you see the camera just pan into the guitar handle, and you see her outside the window walking off the property of the farmhouse.
I loved it.
To who knows where, but in that moment you're just like, wow, like that's when it hits you, like she lost like she can't even play the guitar anymore. As I was saying earlier on, like her connection with Joel, her otherworldly connection with her was that music. And she can't even do that anymore. She lost
it all. For revenge, that's what it was. It was for revenge. And they said from the beginning this was going to be a game about revenge, and boy, the entire game was about revenge for sure.
And that it's not worth it.
No, and that's I said that too. That's what I said. I said to myself that I was like, it wasn't worth it because she lost Dina. She lost Dina. Well, we don't know if she did, but I'm assuming she did. Maybe we don't know. Maybe she went back to Jackson and she told her, whatever, this, that, and Dina took her back. We don't know.
Yeah, I have a theory of my own that I think could be plausible. But first off, I wanted to just mention of how, like, very similar Ellie and Abby's paths were.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Of them, like, the whole thing of theirs is revenge of someone killing their father.
That's right.
And they go out to seek this person, and Abby ends up killing the person who killed her father, but at the cost of losing her relationship with Owen. Just as Ellie lost her relationship with Dina, she lost all of her friends, just like Ellie lost Dina and Jesse. And in a way, Tommy, at this point, she burned a bridge with Tommy, because she didn't actually kill Abby like he had wanted her to. And all this stuff, like, and all the stuff they lost going into it as well, like, is just crazy how mirrored their lives are. Which, I mean, Abby probably has the better ending than Ellie, though, for sure, just because, I mean, she still has at least left.
And after you beat the game, the main menu changes to Catalina Island, so you know that they may at least make it to Catalina Island. So,
so I have a theory. So the way this game ends, I mean, obviously the first game ended in a way that was very open to where I didn't necessarily need a second game. I think the first one could have finished like that, and I've been perfectly fine. Obviously, I welcome the second one because I loved it. I think the same thing could happen with the third game. They could end it here, or they can make another one. Either way, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I think it's highly, highly possible that this is gonna be a trilogy. Is going to be 3 parts to the Last of Us.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you to an extent, but a part of me also thinks that this is going to be the last game they're ever going to make. Like, not ever going to make Last of Us game they're going to make. Now, they may, with Ellie at least, I think, they may, you know how they did Uncharted where the last one was 4, but then they made another one with the 2 women characters. I don't remember their names, but
Lost Legacy.
Yeah, so they did that. Now that could be a possible thing. In Last of Us, you might.
They also had like a Vita title too.
So
we're supposed to be getting multiplayer, guys. Maybe it's Abby left multiplayer.
I'm excited about that.
I don't know.
Dude, I think multiplayer Scars versus Wolves would be sick.
Oh my god.
No, you know what I want? I want executions, and I want one where Abby puts somebody in a chokehold and her fucking arms just like crack the dude's fucking skull.
No, I want their head to pop off.
She just flexes and breaks their
Yeah, are their eyeballs pop out?
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my reasoning why I think we could see a third game or some sort of supplement to this game, whether it's a DLC or whatever it may be. So we know Ellie obviously leaves, and Abby and Lev make it to Catalina Island. What I think potentially the third game could be would either be Ellie goes God knows where, but Abby knows that she is the cure. Some sort of way there was someone on Catalina Island that's with the Fireflies, or maybe even Abby herself, knowing her father's work, has learned maybe, or there's some other sort of doctor that can make a cure. They found someone else.
There's got to be another doctor somewhere.
There's got to be someone in the world, right? So her mission, I think the next game you play is Abby and Lev. And their mission is to track down Ellie, figure out where she is, so Ellie can serve her life purpose of being a cure for humanity. And that's how the game ends, and that's how we get our happy ending.
Shut up and take my money.
That'd be amazing, to be honest. That'd be really awesome.
I firmly believe that's how it's going to go.
It's a very strong possibility, you know. But like I was telling Chaz a while back, even
because Abby has that tracking skill, because it was alluded to with her dad when she had to try to find her dad.
Oh, we didn't talk about the part with the zebra.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I kind of jumped over it, but I had mentioned like the tracking thing.
That reminded me. That's that part.
We skipped over so much stuff. Really cool, we didn't even talk about the weed part. We didn't talk about the fucking.
I was gonna say that. I forgot. We didn't talk about that part. That part was great. But no, one thing I was gonna say too is just I was telling Chaz a while back, like it's one of those things where you kind of just have to like really think with the what ifs, right? Well, let's say the Ellie would have died and they could have made a cure, but at the same time, I was telling Chaz they don't have the facilities possibly, or like the manpower to, or even the equipment or resources to make that many vaccines for the virus. So maybe Ellie's death would have been in vain. Let's say they could have made, with the equipment they had and scavenged, let's say they could have made 100 vaccines. You know what I'm saying? That's 100.
Yeah,
Then they would have had a problem on choosing who gets it. You know? So that's what, because it is the end of the world. It's not like you just have these supplies. Like you have to go forage out there for it if you're lucky.
True.
And they're not all destroyed and shit. And like, you know, so that was a one side I thought about it, to where, you know, Ellie survived, and maybe it wasn't the cost of 1 million people's lives. Maybe it was the cost of 100. And if you talk about it in that way, then it's really not that, the cost is really not that high, I guess you could say. But, you know.
Even if there's a cure, the world's so fucked. I mean,
yeah, like at the point they're in, at that point, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, because I mean, you're so far gone. Like, how do you rebuild society and everything, and like, how do all these factions come together and put aside their differences and all this shit? Which, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion itself.
But if I was immune, I would definitely be like, yo, let's try and do fucking something. I don't even want to live in this fucking shithole anymore. Let's just fucking
That's
like
true.
I don't know. But all right, guys, if you had to rate this game, because we could talk about this game, we're probably gonna talk about this game for hours in the future.
I still got more to talk
Yeah.
I'm
about.
sure there will be more podcasts because we missed so much. But I'm gonna give this game a 10 out of 10.
I will also give this game a 10 out of 10.
I have a little bit of gripe
Boo!
Don't do this. Don't do this. No, you gotta match us.
Hold on. Don't jump to conclusions here. I have a little bit of gripe with some of the gameplay mechanics. It can be a little clunky at times. But as far as how much emotion and everything I felt in this game and how the story was told and so much stuff, like I can't say anything but a 10 out of 10. Like, it's just a masterpiece of a game. Like, yeah, I can definitely find things that I can critique and stuff and be like, well, if I would go like on a technical scale, maybe this game is more of like an 8.5 or something. But like, just the fact that like this game is so much more than just a game.
Oh yeah,
it's an experience. Like, because I tried watching a YouTube playthrough of this game after I was finished with the game, and I just couldn't.
Not the same.
Like, there was just something about it. I mean, obviously I knew what was going to happen, but like I couldn't keep interest in watching. Like, it's something that like you have to play and really experience to get the full thing.
Yeah, you're very right.
At your own pace.
You were talking about controls. One thing I absolutely loved was the dodging. That shit was. That shit,
oh,
man. That
probably
helped me out so much.
I would say my biggest complaint is how you have to continuously hold down the left stick to run.
Oh well,
no, it was L1 to sprint.
L1 to sprint.
Oh, I changed my controls.
So you
dude, that would actually. I didn't think about that. That probably would have made my life so much better. I felt like I was gonna.
We gotta give a shout out
stick.
to Naughty Dog for the accessibility in this game. The way
yeah,
shout out.
Yeah, that's something we should talk about. That shit was awesome.
You can.
Yeah, there's so many people with disabilities that were able to experience this game.
Literally, a blind person beat the game. Like that's insane.
Yeah, that's unheard of, man.
Yep. All right, guys.
And one last thing.
So many good things to say.
Let's shout out for being able to just pet the dogs in this game. Petting the dogs was a mechanic in the game that I absolutely adored, and the rope mechanic. Shout out to the guy who spent a lot of time on that.
Hell yeah, and the whistling. They spent 3 months on the whistling, apparently.
Jeez, man.
I can't whistle like that, so
shit's hard.
I believe it.
Yeah, I suck at whistling. So, shout out to the whistling in this game. 10 out of 10 whistles.
Shout out to everyone involved in making this.
Yes,
this
if you
game.
fucking worked 40-hour weeks for 18 months for
it was well worth it.
Like I love you if you did that. I just love you. That's it.
Yeah,
y'all made something truly amazing and special. So props to y'all. Y'all take y'all time off now that it's done and spend some time with y'all.
Go on
family.
a bunch of vacations. Oh wait.
Yeah. Well.
Damn.
Maybe next year.
Hit him with that reality.
Wait, what?
But yeah, so I mean, nothing but praise for the game, man. So
Game of the year.
Despite the people out there that didn't actually play the game and review bombed it because of what they read online.
Fuck those people.
Maybe I should try the game out. You might have different opinions about it.
Yep.
Yeah, they could try. But,
they're still gonna have fucking bullshit to say about it, probably.
Yeah. They're still stuck in their opinion, no matter what. But
and you know what?
At least then they can say, "Oh, I actually did play the game. And I didn't like it."
And I didn't like read any of the have the negative shit y'all probably did. I didn't even bother.
I went down the rabbit hole after I beat the game because I was like, man, what are people? What did I miss something while playing it? Because I thought this game was spectacular, and people were like, blah blah blah, political agenda, blah blah blah.
Like when me and Chaz talked about it,
game story made no sense. There's plot holes and stuff. I was like, what plot? Did you not Did you just skip all cutscenes and not listen to dialogue? Like, what were you doing?
like I told Chaz, like I had nothing I had no negative things to say about the game as a whole. Nothing at all. I had no gripes, nothing. Zero. I thought it was perfect, to be honest with you.
It's pretty close to perfect in my opinion. But
yeah. This is one of the few franchises that you could say, like, you know, I mean, they've obviously only made 2, but I mean, how many other games can you think of in a series that are like, that they've had more than just one masterpiece? Not many.
Yeah.
If at all. But they're 2 for 2 in my book.
Shooting perfect score.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. But also, I do want to say, like, there's so much hype, obviously, going into a sequel compared to the first game, that there was always going to be criticism for it, like negative criticism.
Yeah, sequels are so hard.
You know? So, yeah, so, I mean, you got to think about it like that. Like, okay, so I do want to actually bring up this question to y'all. If this was the first game, and we didn't play the first one, what would y'all think about it?
Yeah, I saw a clip of this, how you could spin it where this could have been the first game. Or like we wouldn't even play the first game.
Yeah, like if we didn't have that connection to Joel, like, would y'all feel any different? Like,
I feel like,
you know?
Yeah, we would have felt different just because, like, we wouldn't have been, like, having that revenge mindset the whole time, you know? Like, or if it would have been somebody we didn't know, it wouldn't have been as meaningful. Like, we would have been like, oh, well, shit, like, you know, she needs to get revenge for this guy she was very close to, but then, like, at the same time, we didn't know it was Joel, you know, whatever, you know? So, yeah, that's a good way to look at it, though. It's a nice perspective.
yeah. Because, like, you just got to think about also, like, I mean, Joel was obviously a character that we spent the whole first game pretty much playing as, and we grew that kind of bond with him since he was the playable character. But, like, I mean, even though Joel's intentions to save Ellie were, like, pure, right? Obviously, he didn't want to lose her because he grew so fond of her, and also that would be, like, another loss because she did fill that hole for his daughter Sarah that he lost early on in the outbreak. But, like, you gotta also think about, like, how selfish Joel was in saving Ellie's life in that moment. Because Ellie wanted to be the cure, no matter the cost. Like, that was her life's purpose. And then Joel stripped that away from her and prevented her from fulfilling that purpose. So then now she has to live her life thinking that her life has no meaning. There's no point anymore to being immune. Like, you know, it was all for nothing.
She said,
and then to come to find out that
mean nothing.
Exactly, and then come to find out that, like, there would have been a cure. Is just Joel prevented it because he was saving you for his own selfish reasons. Like, you know, it makes you think about him in a different light, but. You just gotta look at things from different
Isn't
angles.
it crazy that video games make us think like this, man?
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, dude, I feel bad for people who don't play video games, who think it's childish, because you will never be able to experience.
You can't.
Like
there's
this.
nothing. You can't experience this in a movie or a TV show.
Like, have you ever cried reading a
definitely
book? I haven't.
Even if there is gonna be a Last of Us TV show, it's not gonna be anything close.
No.
I doubt it.
I'm
no,
hoping
it's not
it's
gonna
at
be able to
least
convey
good.
the same thing.
It's gonna be good, but I don't know, man. Crazy shit. I love this fucking game.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, any closing remarks? Anything else?
I did have a really bad joke that I wrote down whenever I was playing.
Oh yeah,
and,
what was the joke?
I'll say it now that this is over, and if it's bad, you could cut it out. But here we go.
Oh god.
When Isaac was giving his speech to everybody, and he said, "This is bigger than Owen. This is bigger than all of us." I instantly thought to myself, "Not as big as Abby's arms, though." I like instantly thought that to myself, and I just it up and just would go type it in my notes. I'm like, damn, I'm so lame. Fuck.
Dude, that's a good one.
Yeah. But alrighty. Well, that'll do it for our review and game discussion of The Last of Us Part 2.
Part 1. I'm sure there'll be more
obviously-
discussions in the future.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll bring it up just like we do Call of Duty all the damn time.
When multiplayer comes out, we'll be hitting that up.
And Game of the Year discussion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Game
definitely.
of the Year is gonna be nuts
And
this
also,
year.
since we're
shit.
And also, since we're getting close to the cycle of the life cycle of these consoles, we can also talk about our all-time favorite.
Yeah, they
games
fucking revealed the
of
PS5 since we did a podcast.
That's very true.
That's the thing
that we weren't able to talk about. Stuff just didn't align, but we're back. We'll try to be here more regularly.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast, so that way you don't miss any episodes.
And click,
because we will be uploading.
And click that bell.
Ring ding
ding ding y'all.
Ding ding y'all. All right, well, y'all take care and stay safe out there. We'll catch you guys next time.
Wear a mask, please.
Peace.
Fucking Jesse's fucking pop. If you get that reference, I love you.